Welcome back to Railbound. I'm Darling and enjoy the ride as we make connections and travel the world together. Well, last time we were on this level, and we were getting. Oh yes, okay. No, I vaguely remember now. We were getting kind of close doing this, but then this doesn't work because it's an impossible thing. We straight up just don't have enough tracks to make it work, and also. Because 4 is always going to be in front of 2, 2 can't make it out of here. So, as usual, I suppose, when we start a new episode, I think it's probably best to start from 0 again and try and start by breaking whatever rules I had established before. Because I found the best way, The number one way for me to solve puzzles is to try and simplify down the problem. Come up with a plausible assumption that I have about the level and then, apply that over and over and over again, through like a binary tree search until I get to the solution. And like 80% of the time, I think that's the fastest way for me to solve a level. But then 20% of the time, it ends up leading me down the dead end where I'm just like, oh, this is not actually how I solve this level, and I had to like completely backtrack, and realize that the axioms I set up at the beginning were incorrect. So basically, this is a long way of me just saying I want to start from a clean slate, but I don't know necessarily what to do. I mean, one thing we know for certain, these two cannot just like straight up crash into each other. This is two forced moves, but it doesn't have to be like that. They can turn off, but one thing I didn't consider, now I think about it, is the fact that they could both turn off rather than... 3 doesn't have to go over here, basically, because 1 can't go over here. 1 could turn off one way, and 3 could turn off the other way. Well... I did think a little bit about this level after I finished recording with our last video. I can't remember what else I thought about though. That was one of them. There was something else that came to mind, but I don't really remember what, to be perfectly honest. So I guess we'll figure it out later. Okay. I mean, still the easiest thing to do is have this. And then the second easiest thing to do is have this. And that's bada bing, bada boom, done. No, wait, that's not done. 2 needs to pick up this. I didn't even think about that. But 2 can't... Okay, so... But the thing is, I don't want to do this, because this is so much, like, track being used. Let's put 4 out of the way for now. I mean, this is obviously going to work. Like, why wouldn't it work? So the question, I suppose, becomes, what do we do with 2, 3, and 4? And... Actually, it doesn't work, because we need something to hit that. That is a good point. So I guess we have 4 go up this way. No. I guess we have 3. No, 3 needs to over... Okay, hold on. 4, get out of the way. We need to have 3 go before 2. So I guess it could be like this. But we need more tracks. So, okay, we had to do it more efficiently, somehow. It's hard to be much more efficient, to be honest. And it might actually be better to send 4 up this way, because then 4 can follow 3, probably. The thing is, that is not fast enough. We need 2 to take longer, so I guess 2 we have like this. Now 3 is in front of 2. 3 hits that. But now we don't have any more tracks. I should not be doing this as fast as possible. Alright, come on, extrapolate, come on. Do what you do there, darling. You've established your axioms now. This is a structure of what this puzzle's going to take. Now iterate upon this, make this work. The thing is, I don't really see how this can work. How this can work. Actually, no, this could work. If we can make this one track more efficient, then we could put a track here and it would loop the entire thing. So what is a superfluous track? Maybe this is a superfluous track? No. It feels like this should be superfluous. Again, it's the same problem where I need to make up one track from somewhere, but I just straight up can't. Or maybe not straight up can't, but I can't see how to. And another problem I actually just thought of is I think this is not going to work timing wise, because 3 will go up here, 2 will go to the end, 4 will reset it. Oh no, it will work time-wise. For a second that I thought it meant that even if 3 did make it back here, it would be in the wrong position and 4 would get in next rather than 3. So actually, this is more promising than the other one, because this, at least the order works. 1, 3, 2, 4, then 3 and 4, then 4 is probably the correct order for actually how this works. We just need to figure out how to get 1 extra track somewhere, which is easier said than done. Or is it? It's actually way easier said than done. Way easier done than said. This is where the inefficiency comes. Okay. And hope this does work. Okay. I got way too stuck on the idea that they had to basically follow in from like their starting things. Like I got too obsessed with the idea that something had to follow the same path one did, when it just didn't. It just didn't have to. Wow, okay. That's also an interesting way to make something more efficient, which I honestly never considered before. It's a very specific situation, but rather than if you're here and you need to get this one on the track, it's way better just to go in front of it, because that just takes up 1, 2, rather than going 1, 2, 3, and then also needing. That's where the efficiency comes in. It's because that car number 1 is going forward anyway, so you might as well use its track, which you're already putting down, going forward, rather than going in through the backside of it and then, you know, adding an extra track on top of that. Interesting. Okay, so this that is forced. Well, it's not forced. It could turn away. Presumably 4 is going to turn away this way. Presumably, well, interestingly, 1 has one up here. That's quite difficult to deal with. That's actually really difficult to deal with. Oh my god. With 30 tracks though, so that's quite a lot as well. Okay, let's do it naively for now. Let's just see where this leads us. 2 has to delay a lot of time, which makes me think that maybe we want some sort of loop system. Like we want 1 to loop around like this. I can't figure out how this works. We want 1 to loop like this, and then we want 2 to go backwards, essentially, through this, and then go through like that. Not taking long enough though. I mean, that's one way of delaying. I don't know why we would do something like this, but this does delay 2 enough. 3 presumably goes here, then has to like join in over here. No, it can't. I guess 3 and 4 both run in over here, then both join in over here, maybe? Oh, 4 can't do that. Okay, so maybe 4 joins 2 over here. Okay, maybe 4 joins into over here. Maybe 4 just takes a really long time. To join into over here. We need 3 to do something else. No, 4 can't join over here because it needs to get to the end. I feel like this is really far away from a solution. This doesn't even feel remotely correct. But there's no way that's optimal. So 2 must take a longer path than I'm giving it credit for. I feel like that must happen. How are we going to get 1 to collect this and this in a reasonable manner? Like, we could do this, of course, is the most simple, straightforward way, but it's difficult for 4 as well. I guess 4 has to do something like this, and maybe that's enough time delayed. That is enough time delayed. If only we had a semaphore, but we don't. I guess 2 could delay like this as a slightly more track efficient way. And then... Okay, but what do 3 and 4 do then? Because that just crashes. We need 2 to take even longer? No. We need 2 to be even faster. No. We don't even want 2 to go that way. We want 2 to go this way. Huh. I had a simpler solution than I expected, to be perfectly honest. And also a lot less of a neat solution than I expected. This one felt the most like just draw out the paths to the answer. It didn't actually feel like I was solving a puzzle. if that makes sense. Like, there's nothing to break down here. 1 just picks it up in the most efficient route possible. 2 just follows on. And 3 just literally has a drawn out route. And 4 just needs to turn away from the... Yeah, this doesn't really feel like a puzzle which I worked out. It kind of feels like a puzzle I just inputted, if anything. Okay. So we need... Oh, I feel like I remember trying this one a couple of times. And this is like the conclusion I came to, is it's hard as heck. Because we want to hit you, and then we want to hit you again, essentially. And then you get to the end. And then, from here, somehow you need to hit B. No, but you need to be hit again first. Now, actually, do you need to be hit again first? Because number 2 can always hit you. That's true. So then you get released. But then something needs to hit B now. And that can't even work. Oh man, this is going to be a difficult one. I remember doing this one, and the hard part about this one was I couldn't even come up with a concept of a solution. I guess a question to ask myself is, how many times do I think button B and C are going to be hit? They have to be hit once to release a 2. So it could be that they're only hit once. After 1 has passed both of them, then they're hit once to release 2 and 3, and that's fine. It could be that they hit multiple times. Hit once to release 2, hit again to get... Oh, they could be hit 1 or 2 times. Interesting. Instead of 1 or 3 times. They don't need to be toggled necessarily. Huh. So is it every button needs to be hit twice? Once to release them all, and the second time to allow them to be exit? That's an interesting question. Sorry, it's like 11 PM when I'm recording, so I'm a little bit tired. So, I mean, from like a meta standpoint on a level design, I feel like it's most thematically satisfying if 4 hits each of the buttons once, and then 1, 2, and 3 hit each of the other buttons once collectively. I don't think 1 is going to hit multiple buttons, and we know that this is a forced placement. We also know that this is forced as well, and that is technically forced, but this could be a turn up. That A has to be hit twice, doesn't it? I don't have a good reason not to hit A immediately, which is maybe exactly why I should break that idea. The thing with this is I don't know how that's going to be possible for 2 to go in front of the others. I feel like if anything, 2 has to be released first, which is highly not easy to do. I feel like 4 has to basically do this. It feels forced in a way, almost. It's not actually, but then 4... 2 can't share 4's path. Just get to the end. Maybe 4 goes around, pushes all the buttons, and then goes backwards through the path, pushing all the buttons again. That feels like it would take too long. I don't even have to get 2 and 3 through here properly. I need to figure out conceptually what to do on this level. I think another interesting question to ask myself is, what is the point of this piece? Is it to lead me to go downwards first? Is it trying to point me into the direction of releasing 3 first? If we do release 3 first, 2 will have to get to the end very quickly. So maybe it's a turnaround like this, and 2 just goes. I think this makes him crash, to be perfectly honest, but I guess it's worth a shot. I didn't even press 2. Yeah, you got a good point. I can't. This cannot be right. No, it can't share the same path. It has to share a different path to 3. Oh, we don't have enough track now. It does feel like we don't have enough track with it. It's honestly kind of crazy that it even has a solution. Not that it's crazy that it has a solution. Like, again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, the devs made an impossible puzzle. But again, I don't really know how to approach this one. But it might be something I figure out next time. No, I'm not going to skip it yet. We've only got like a few minutes left anyway, but I'm just trying to see ahead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Only 16 levels left. That's honestly not bad. Not bad at all. But I need the concept of this one. I need to nail down what I think the solution is going to look like. And I have a lot of questions, but I don't have good answers. I can't reason out an answer. Like, I can't reason out how many times these buttons need to be pressed. I can't reason out a choice for what I think the 4th cart is going to do. The 4th cart has to make it to the end last, which is interesting. It needs to delay the most time, so it needs to go on the longest path. And not only does it need to go on the longest path, it needs to be on the longest path compared to when the last button is pressed for the first time. And you might be like, what does that mean? Well, each of these buttons need to be pressed once to release 1, 2, and 3. And 4 needs to have a longer path from whenever any of these buttons are pressed to the end. So the first time, think of whichever of these 3, A, B, C, which is pressed last. Let's say it's C, without loss of, well, maybe not without loss of generality, but for this example, then 4's path from C to the end needs to be longer than 3's path from the start to the end. That's crazy. In which case, maybe that insinuates we should have A be one of the last ones to push. What if we push 3, 2, 1, and then we sort of like coalesce them all together in a very satisfying button push? I don't know. I'm not necessarily convinced by that, but does A wait at a closed barrier? I can't remember how the mechanics work. Just keep going. Okay, so A does work at a closed wait at a closed barrier. Honestly, this one stumped me. It won't stump me forever. I will have to think about this again in between episodes, but I think that's what's making it difficult. I think once I get the concept, once I have an idea of what the solution should look like, I think the pieces will fall into place, because it does feel like it's going to be quite restrictive, whatever the solution is. It's just, I don't know what the idea is. I don't know what the outline is yet. Anyway, I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Railbound. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope you see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.